Good evening. Sorry about that. I'd like to call the village board meeting for the Village of Cary for September 21st, 2020 to order with roll call, please.
Collier.
Here.
Cavelli.
Here.
Dudek.
Here.
McAlpine.
Here.
Walrath.
Here.
Weinhammer.
Here.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Chief, could you check the? I will do that. Thank you. We'll now move to the open forum where the public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. Let me see if anybody's signed in.
It confused me. It says Cary Legal.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I have Mr. and Mrs. Meyer signed in. Are you here about something that's already on the agenda? You can speak at that time when we call it on the agenda. So this is for other business. Is there anybody else present that would like to address the village board on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, we'll go ahead and close open forum at 6:01. I have several things on my mayor's report. A couple of employee recognitions. We have Ray Roush, who has been with the Public Works Department 15 years. Unfortunately, he's unable to be with us this evening, but we thank him for his service and his continued commitment to the Village of Cary. He makes the village a much better place to live with his commitment to the village. In addition, we have Paul Fatzinger, who is with our police department. He's been with us for 10 years. He is unable to be with us as well. So thank you to Paul for keeping us safe and ensuring that the Village of Cary is always moving forward as well. Now, this is one of the fun parts of my job, is our police department. As you can see, we're represented back over here. We are expanding and replacing some retired folks. So I'm going to start with the swearing in. We're going to start with Travis Weaver. If you can join me up front, please.
Sure. Okay.
You can stand right here. We'll be 6 feet apart. Is anybody here from his family would like to come up and join us?
I think they're still out there somewhere.
How soon you forget, huh? Come on up here. It's a big day for you guys.
There you go.
We'll make this as painless as possible. And thank you very much for joining us. Also want to thank, we have a member of our police commission back here too.
Yes.
The police department is.
Jeff Prager's back there. Jeff Prager, Commissioner Prager's back there.
And we have a good representation of our police department, so thank you very much for all those that came. Did you want to go ahead?
Sure, just a couple things about Travis. He attended high school in St. Charles in West Chicago. He entered the United States Air Force in 2013, where he was a security police officer, and he was assigned to Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He performed military duties of police duties in nuclear defense. He received an honorable discharge in 2017, and he was performing security duties at Fermilab National Accelerator Laboratory in Batavia until he was hired by us. So he had a management. He was a lieutenant. You were a lieutenant there. You were a lieutenant at the Fermilab. So currently he's assigned to the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, where he had started September 7th.
Would you want to introduce who's here with you?
Yes, sir. This is my grandma, Marcia. And this is Rico.
Let's get the show on the road. Just raise your right hand, please. I, Travis J. Weaver,
I, Travis J. Weaver,
having been appointed to the office of police officer
have been appointed to the office of police officer
in the village of Cary
in the village of Cary
in the county of McHenry aforesaid,
in the County of McHenry aforesaid,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Welcome to the village of Dearborn. This is for you to keep. Keepsake folder. Congratulations. Who is the lucky one that's going to? Sure. I've heard about it.
Fitting your chair for the day.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Next, Alec Haglund. Do you want to invite your family up too? Turn it over to Chief Finley for a moment.
I'm happy to introduce Alec Haglund. He was a Cary Grove High School graduate in 2016. He was active in scouting and achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, which not very many people do, and some very important people have. I believe Neil Armstrong was one of them. He attended Valparaiso University, Valparaiso, Indiana, and Deputy Chief Winkleman would say that that's the Harvard of the Midwest. I don't know if that's true or not. He received an undergraduate degree in sociology and with a focus in criminology. He was an intern at the Cary Police Department, and while he was at Valparaiso University, he also participated in broadcasting the sporting events. He also is assigned to the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy at September 7th at the College of DuPage in Glen Ellen. And just as a side note, they have the extra pleasure of having one of our supervisors, Sergeant Fetzer, as their class supervisor as well.
Did you want to introduce who's here with you today?
Yeah, my mom Debbie and my father Eric.
Thank you. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, please. I, Alec M. Haglund,
I, Alec M. Haglund,
having been appointed to the Office of Police Officer
have been appointed to the Office of Police Officer
in the Village of Cary,
in the Village of Cary
in the County of McHenry aforesaid,
and the County of McHenry aforesaid.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of
and
Illinois,
I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Police Officer
of the Office of Police Officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Welcome to the village. Who's going to do the honor?
My bad.
Your dad or your mom?
In defense of everyone that's been trying to pin a badge on, they probably haven't been poked through before, so it's very difficult to do. There should have been some preparation on our part. Exactly. We do, but you still have to put the badge through it.
Thank you very much. This is yours. Congratulations.
And for everyone here that's recognizing the newly introduced police officers, there's some refreshments upstairs, and I believe everyone that's here for that purpose can retire up to the interview room upstairs.
I'm just going to keep rolling here. I have a couple of proclamations. The first is Rail Safety Week, September 20th through 26th, 2021. Whereas in Illinois, 98 crashes occurred at railroad crossings, resulting in 32 personal injuries and 15 fatalities during 2020. And whereas the state of Illinois is a leader in supporting highway rail grade crossing and pedestrian safety programs, and whereas 2021 marks the 7th year of Operation Lifesaver, has designated a National Rail Safety Week, which coincides with the Rail Safety Week in Illinois, to implement the safety initiative across the county, across the country, and whereas Cary Police Department will be participating in this important safety endeavor. Now, therefore, I, Mark Kalnick, Mayor of the Village of Cary, do hereby proclaim September 20th to 26th, 2021 is Rail Safety Week, and encourage all citizens of the Village of Cary to recognize the importance of rail safety education and obey all rail safety laws, dated this 21st day of September 2021. And one more for Fire Prevention Week, Learn in the Sounds of Fire Safety, October 3rd through the 9th, 2021, whereas in the Village of Cary is committed to ensuring the safety and security of those living in and visiting our community, and whereas U.S. home fires resulted in 2,770 deaths in the United States in 2019, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 339,500 fires. And whereas Cary's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education, and whereas the 2021 Fire Protection Week theme, Learn the Sounds of Fire Safety, educates the public about the vital importance of developing a home fire escape plan with all members of the household and practicing it twice a year. Now, therefore, I, Mark Kalnick, Mayor of the Village of Cary, do hereby proclaim October 3rd through 9th, 2021 is Fire Protection Week throughout the Village of Cary, and I urge all people in the Village of Cary to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or an emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support many public safety activities and efforts of the Village of Cary's fire and emergency services during Fire Prevention Week 2021, dated this 21st day of September 2021. Thank you. Moving on to the trustee reports. I'm not aware of any. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up to the board right now? Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward the rest of the meeting here. I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items number 1 through 12 as shown on the village's website and is displayed on the video monitor during the village board meeting.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Cavelli,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Collier.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you want the item, just this?
Moving on to the next item at hand, I will entertain a motion to approve and accept a monetary donation from the Community Foundation for McHenry County.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I am beyond overjoyed. I'm speechless. I'm humbled. The Village of Cary is exceedingly thankful for this donation. We have been granted a donation on behalf of Greg and Dana Glenecki through the McHenry County, the Community Foundation for McHenry County, in the amount of $500,000. We are ecstatic about this generosity. I'm still speechless. I get choked up even thinking about the sincere generosity of a donation of this magnitude. In some of the meetings that we've had putting this together, They have some specific things that they want to have done. I'll just mention them briefly. We are putting out a joint press release tomorrow on behalf of the Gonekis, the Community Foundation, and the Village of Cary. One is to allocate funding for the Cary Community Plaza, which is where our current old train station is. That's going to become a very nice plaza for our residents. We will also allocating part of this towards the funding of our new pavilion at Cary Lake at Rotary Park, a great asset to the community as well. And finally, we'll be getting the new entryway signs that this gracious donor attempted several years ago, and that's one of the things that they want to get done. And also, we are going to be acquiring a new police drone, which is going to help in our policing, and not only that, with various community events and things. This is something that will help us be a safer community. So on behalf of the village board, behalf of the Community Foundation, we greatly thank the Gonekis for their unwavering commitment to the village of Cary. They were overjoyed to give this, and they are wonderful people who have spent a lot of time in Cary. They raised 3 young men that are all very successful now, and they feel it's time to give back to the community that did so well for them. So I'm humbled, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, overwhelmed, and as mayor and part of this board, I think that I can speak on everybody's behalf that this is an unbelievable opportunity for us. And hopefully with our partnership moving forward with the Community Foundation for McHenry County, this may stir some other interest with the community, because there are from time to time, I get nudged as to people wanting to make donations and what's the process. And this board a couple years ago put together a process that will streamline that it takes out all the guessing games. And through our partnership with the Community Foundation, we hope that other donors will utilize it. And this may spur something else through the county as well. There's a lot of people that love to give back to the community that they are so joyfully part of. So we will continue our relationship with the foundation. We again thank the Gonekis for their unbelievable donation to the Village of Cary. We are overwhelmed. So thank you. And that being said, roll call, please.
Dudek,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Cavelli.
Yes.
For the record, I'm a yes too.
And
Let's
I
make it-
just want to add too, for the public's benefit, I'd encourage you to check out the Community Foundation, look at their website, see what they're all about. When we first started this, I don't think that the mayor and I were very well versed to who the Community Foundation is, what they do, and what they stand for. And so I encourage the folks that are here and also the individuals that are watching at home to do a Google search on the Community Foundation for McHenry County.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it over, the next item, I'm going to turn over to Director Simmons here.
Thank you, Mayor. The item on the agenda is a request for conditional use for a home occupation at 550 Red Cypress Drive. I'll go through a presentation to give an overview of what the request is and what the recommendation was from the ZPA. And then at the conclusion of the presentation, I'll give the 2 options there are for the village board from a motion perspective for consideration this evening. If we can go to the next slide after the slide. One more slide.
Director Morimoto, one slide in advance, please.
Sorry about that. We're experiencing some technical issues, so if I lose audio, I can't hear you. Apologize.
Okay. I'll give a brief overview of the property so the board's aware. The subject property is zoned R1 Single Family Residential District. It's located on the east side of town. The subject property was annexed in the village back in 1992, and the home was constructed in 1993 with pool that's on the subject property being constructed in the late 90s. In June of this year, the village was made aware of a business operation that was taking place in the property, and staff provided a notice to the property owner regarding that business, asking for the activities to cease or go through the conditional use process for the request. The petitioner did submit a petition seeking for conditional use permit for a type B home occupation as they're operating, providing swim lessons in their pool. The slide that's currently shown gives you the requirements for home occupations within the village's excuse me, zoning ordinance, and defined as a qualifying commercial activity that is conducted by a person on the same lot as where the person resides, and is so insubstantial or incidental or commonly associated with the residential uses as regarded as an accessory use. Our Unified Development Ordinance provides requirements for two different types of home occupations, which are summarized on the slide, but a type A is a permitted by right home occupation. It allows for commercial activity on a lot within the principal building, which is used for residential use. Limits parking to a total of accessory 2 vehicles, and in general, it cannot promote more than 25 vehicle trips per day. A second type of use or home occupation that the UDO allows for is a type B conditional use. And these uses are slightly more intense than a type A variety. They do allow for commercial activity still within the lot within a structure. Parking accessory to the use should not exceed 4 spaces, and the use should not create more than 100 vehicle trips per day. Based on the definition of a structure with our code, it means anything that's constructed or erected on the property, the use of which requires more or less a permanent location on the ground or attached to something having a location on the ground. If we can advance to the next slide. Next slide, there we go. So this provision gives an example of the full extent of the code. Going
That
fast
one.
stuff. That's fine. So the entire code, those 3 conditions are, that I summarized in the previous slide, are a very small portion of the code requirements. There are other requirements for the operation of the business as far as the noise that can be generated from an establishment, where it can be located within the property, how much of the home can be utilized for the use, and so forth. The proposed note, which is for consideration, as mentioned, the petitioners are proposing to, or we're operating a swim school on the property. They provided the service beginning last year at the start of the pandemic. As public facilities were closing, they were able to offer the use in their property pool and provided swim lessons to residents of the village and outside the village as well. Classes generally were operated Monday through Thursdays in the morning with some evening hours as well. Class sizes per the petitioner range between 1 to 6 students with the duration of swim lessons being offered only during the summer months of 6 to 8 weeks. Historically, parking for the use customers that were coming to the property were parking on the street in front of their home. You can advance to the next slide. The code describes neighborhood impact as one of the conditions that was reviewed for home occupations, generally to limit the impact on adjoining properties or other properties within the immediate area. In general, a neighborhood is defined within the code as anything within 1,000 feet of the property. Again, there's a maximum number of vehicles of 4 spaces and vehicle trips of 100 per day under the code would translate to about 12 classes per day for the proposed use. The code does indicate that from a noise perspective, any conditional use or any home occupation should not generate any noise that is discernible at the property line. And that was one of the main points that was discussed during the zoning process. Throughout the process, the petitioner did indicate they were open to modifications to the business to comply with the regulations, and certainly that was discussed during the zoning process. Next slide, please. History on the case on the next slide indicates we reviewed the hearing originally in July of 2008 before the ZPA. Based on discussion that was provided during that evening and also the feedback from the public, the petitioner did request that the matter be continued an additional month for them to be able to provide an ample time to respond to the current concerns that were expressed both by the ZPA and the public that were in attendance. That hearing was then held again on August 12th, in which case the petitioner provided additional documentation, which is in your packets this evening. They conducted a survey of the neighborhood to solicit feedback on potential modifications they could perform to the business or concerns that they may have with the business going forward. The ZPA during the hearing entertained the additional information and then the additional public comments. And then during discussion, did vote on a recommendation of 2 to 5 to deny the request for the conditional use. And that recommendation is then up for consideration this evening before the village board. Next slide, Eric. As the board is aware, within the Unified Development Ordinance, there are various standards that need to be met for the review of a conditional use. Specifically, the use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. The use will not substantially diminish or impair the values of property within the immediate vicinity. The use will not impede the normal orderly development of surrounding property, will not contribute to an overburdening of municipal services, and is consistent with the policies and future land use maps in the village comprehensive plan. Based on the evidence that was provided during the public hearing process and also the public comment that was received, the zoning board determined that in this case they felt that the conditions in this matter were not met, and therefore on the next slide they did make a recommendation, as mentioned, of denial of the specific request. So for this evening, for the village board, there are 2 actions that are presented for the village board to consider for this evening, which both were in your packet as well. The first is if the village board believes in this case that the petitioner has met the applicable standards, the village board should move to approve an ordinance that approves the requested conditional use. And this ordinance is incorporated in your packet as attachment A1 for this item. If the village board concurs with the ZPA's recommendation, there's a second ordinance that's in your packet as attachment A2. If the village board concurs that the standards have not been met in this case, the board should pass a motion to approve that ordinance, which denies the conditional use as requested for the subject property. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the case. Petitioner is also here as well to provide additional information regarding the request.
If it's okay with the board, I have a couple of people that want to address the village board. Can we go ahead and have them come up? Mr. and Mrs. Meyer, did you want to come up and address the village board?
Thank you. My name is Mel Meyer, and this is my wife Barbara, and we reside at 560 Red Cypress Drive, which is the closest and most immediate resident impacted by the proposed conditional use. We oppose our neighbors running a commercial business of this magnitude on a residential street with the associated traffic, safety issues, and noise. Such commercial property activity prevents us and our neighbors from the use and enjoyment of our own properties. It forces us and our neighbors to absorb the impact of the swim school on and around our homes and the resulting loss in property values that go with it. I'm sure as you read in the minutes from the July 8th and the August 12th meetings, there were other members of our subdivision there from Lions Ridge. And I'll just read through there. At 515, Cypress was a no. 530, a no. 560, a no. 570, a no. 7 Milton Court, no. 9 Milton Court, no. 540 said they were concerned about the noise. 555 on July 8th says we're not in favor. For the second meeting, they said they were okay with maybe 1 student attending per class. Plus, there's 2 letters dated July 3rd and July 13th that didn't identify where they were from that also opposed. So throughout our neighborhood, there's a strong opposition, not just from us, but from our neighbors as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jill Walter, did you want to address the village board?
Jill Walter. I am the petitioner for the conditional use. When we came in July, we had a lot of parent support from the community, from a lot of the students that I was teaching. Many of them approached me, family and friends and close neighbors, to teach the summer before because the schools in the area were closed. And then the following summer, not knowing that any of the neighbors were opposed to us doing it, I continued thinking that I was doing a good thing for the community. I'm a teacher and coach by trade. I have a strong background in swimming and coaching. And I thought it was a really good thing for a lot of parents and families in our community. Once we met with the ZPA back in July, we did extend it to August. My husband and I did create a survey, which is in the packet. We also went door to door to our immediate neighbors and had face-to-face conversations with them. We addressed all of the concerns that were brought up at the July meeting. We tried to come up with different ways that we thought would be kind of a meet in the middle sort of compromise. We discussed about making some lessons less rather than the 6 to 8 weeks, maybe going from 3 to 6 weeks, that it's only in the summertime. We talked about traffic concerns, about them coming in on the east side of our subdivisioning and exiting out on the west side to try to help with that traffic flow, lessening the number of students so that way we'd have less traffic on the road, allowing them to park in our driveway because we didn't know that was a concern. I know the ZPA brought up insurance issues, things like that. We addressed those. We contacted our insurance company. So everything that was brought up in that July meeting, we tried very hard to talk to the neighbors. As we talked to most of them said, you know, if you can make these changes, if you can bring down some of the sound level, the noise, things like that, we'd be a little bit more willing, I guess, to allow you to do these if you can make some of these changes. Almost every single neighbor met with us except the Myers. So we did do our due diligence to try to make the changes so that way we could obviously make our neighbors happy and obviously meet the conditions of the permit as well.
Anybody have any questions for the petitioner? Anything else you wanted to add? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Tomasello, did you want to address the village board?
I just signed you in because I usually get a sign in at the ZPA.
Okay, that's different, yeah, because your sworn testimony there, okay. Thank you. I'll open it up to discussion from the village board. Does anybody have any comments or questions about this?
I do. I'm going to start off because this is a very tough situation. And it's a tough situation because no matter how we decide, someone's going to be happy and someone's going to be unhappy. And that's difficult when you're in this position. You know, we'd like to make everybody happy. However, when I listen, and I listened to the ZPA meetings from start to finish, I read all of the letters, and I'm sure as everybody else did as well. And there are some legitimate concerns, and I appreciate, and I will say for the record, that from everything I read and everything I heard, you are a phenomenal teacher. And no one is looking to take that away from you. And no one is looking to take it away from the children of our community. It is a great service. Children need to learn to swim. And you are very talented in that arena from everything anyone had said. They just rave about you. So you are to be commended for that. However, I don't know, in listening to the neighbors, one of the burdens that has to be met is that the noise cannot be detrimental, cannot leave the area. I don't see how that can be met. It is a swim school. I know you had mentioned, I think in the ZPA meeting, one of the meetings, you said, hey, I'll be quieter, I'll do this. You know what, you're a coach. You use your coach voice. That's what makes you good at what you do. So to say that I'm going to change that is really, that's going to be difficult to be able to do, in my humble opinion, to keep your level of training that you do. I did reach out. I contacted Dolphin Swim Club. I contacted the Sage YMCA. I contacted the Park District. I contacted Healthbridge. Those are all swim areas right within our immediate vicinity. And every one of them told me they would be absolutely thrilled to have an instructor of your caliber. If they wanted to do private swim lessons, they would be thrilled to have you doing that. I also can appreciate the fact, and for the record, I live across the street. So if this was a, hey, if you like someone, are you going to vote yes? That's just not how it works here. So it is very, very difficult here. But, you know, I just see the safety issues that people have brought up. If it was something, you know, as your business grows, I think you're going to have more and more people wanting to come to you for lessons. So I think that I look at it as if I would recommend contacting some of these places, because I think you have a passion for wanting to help a lot of these kids. I think I heard that sometimes they're special needs kids that you're down there and you're assisting and they're not comfortable in some of the bigger environments. But I'm not seeing how you can meet some of the burdens. That's my concern. So I struggle with that, because on a personal level, I never want to say no to helping children. But on a level of meeting what the requirements are, I'm not seeing how you can do that. So that's where my thought process is on it.
Thank you, Trustee McAlpine. Is there anybody else that would like to comment on this?
Well said. Thank you, Ellen, for saying all that. 'Cause that's pretty much, I think, what I speak for myself. I was thinking the same thing. So thank you.
Anybody else? Well, we have two options down here. When I read the motion, do I need to get a motion first on which option we're going to take? Or can I just roll the?
We're doing discussion first, and then we can.
Well, typically, you want to do discussion before the,
Well, we already started that.
Yeah.
and then it would either be a motion to,
Approve or deny?
an ordinance to deny, or a motion relative to the ordinance to approve.
Okay.
One or the other.
We're either going to approve this or deny this, just through people's heads. Where is everybody wanting to approve this?
No, I do not.
No. So then I will institute the Exhibit A2. So I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance denying the conditional use for home occupation for the property located at 550 Red Cypress.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
McAlpine?
Yes, so I'm voting yes to deny it.
Correct.
Just want to make sure, yes.
Walrath?
Yes.
Weinhammer?
Pass.
Collier?
Yes.
Cavelli?
Yes.
Dudek?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving along, administrator's report, Mr. Wright.
Mayor, Village Board, I had a slide. I don't know if it's going to pop up.
Sorry for the technical difficulty here tonight.
not.
So what happens when Courtney's not here?
Let's see, we're trying. We're trying here, so.
I just want to
There we
clarify
go.
something
All
with
right.
my pass. It's just, I also abstain. So when I say pass, I wanted it to come back to me.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I thought
I
it
thought
was,
you took,
thought
I
it was
thought you,
yes.
that was a yes.
no, I'm
She
glad I
said
clarified
pass.
that. I
Oh, you
said,
can't
Oh.
pass. You have three options, yes, no, or abstain.
in Robert's rules, it does say that you can pass.
That's,
So that's an abstention. I mean,
So that's an
it's the
abstention.
equivalent of an
To
abstention.
abstain.
Okay, so I do want to make that, I do want to clarify that,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I heard yes.
no,
Okay.
I said pass to come back to me, which
Okay.
according to Robert's rules, you can, unless the attorney is telling me something different.
No, you can abstain if you.
Okay,
can
and then I
abstain.
am going to abstain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay. All right, we're good? Okay. A lot of great events coming up here in town. Our National Night Out Planning Committee's done a lot of work behind the scenes. A lot of events going on. The chief is going to give an overview here of the events. The one item that I wanted to get board feedback on was on October 5th, if you can see kind of midway down in the flyer on the left, is when we actually have a National Night Out event at our future municipal center. National Night Out event, obviously they schedule it right in the middle of our board meeting from 5 to 7. So wanted to get the board's comments, feedback on our proposal here. If you'd be open to it, we'd like to push back our village board and committee meeting to 7 PM that night. So you'd have the opportunity, you don't have to be there for the full 2 hours, but if you're interested, you'd be able to go and attend that event, come here at 7, and then we'd carry on with our village business, our village board meeting, committee, the whole meeting. So just looking for feedback if there's any comments from the board about that minor tweak to our schedule.
I'm in favor of
Is that
seven.
what we
Makes
do with
sense to
7?
me.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Close my bedtime.
Yeah, We'll be efficient.
I'll make
We'll
it
be
efficient,
efficient.
okay?
I'm gonna bring
For
them
everybody's sake here. All right, we're usually gone by 7.
I appreciate that. And then Village Attorney Euler, do we have to classify that as a special meeting since we're changing the time?
No, you can just change the,
Okay.
the meeting is at the same place, generally the same time, we're just going to adjust the
Okay.
time.
Very good.
As long as it's not earlier.
Right.
Right, okay.
So I'll let the chief take over. A lot of great events here. I think that the whole police department will probably have to take a month off after after going through all this. It's an action-packed week. So again, appreciate all the
I
volunteer
would
work.
classify this as a very ambitious schedule.
Yes, yes,
So it
yes.
was the Citizen, so this is courtesy of the Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association, and they want to do something every day for that week. And so to kind of give you some context in regards to this, is usually National Night Out occurs the first Tuesday of August. And then there's an alternate date in October, generally reserved for those agencies or states that are in locations that it tends to be hotter in the summer. So they would have the opportunity to do it in October. We elected to do it in October because we thought that we would be doing ourselves a favor in regards to the COVID-19 situation, and it didn't really pan out that way. So although it's not, it'll be a safe event and it'll be outside, the event is October 5th, and that is one of the alternates for the National Night Out for those southern states, and we're adopting that. So to go down the line here in regards to what we're doing, October 2nd, there's a family day at Cary Lake at Rotary Park. So the Citizen Police Academy will be there, and there'll be bags tournament and games and things of that nature. And I believe that there are some members of the Rotary Club at Cary Grove here, and they'll be serving adult beverages. So, and part of our board agenda was to approve their special liquor license. Then October 3rd, the fire department was gracious enough to allow us to participate in that, and there'll be a 100 Club display there. So we'll be there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The 100 Club is an organization that provides support and benefits to families of police officers and firefighters that are killed in the line of duty. And we're doing this as a initiative through the Rotary Coalition of McHenry County. And this was started in 2019, and it would have been a spaghetti dinner. But again, with all the issues that have occurred, this has been kind of reduced to a meet and greet where they will have the ability for people to buy 50 raffle tickets. There'll be T-shirt sales for both the 100 Club Illinois and then McHenry County 100 Club T-shirt that has the insignias or emblems of the McHenry County Fire Chiefs Association and the McHenry County Chiefs of Police Association. Unfortunately, the Cary Grove Masonic Lodge, they have direction from their Grand Lodge that they are no longer going to be able to participate in that, so the one line here in regards to child IDs won't be occurring. And then October 4th will be Cones with a Cop right across the street from the fire department, and that'll be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And there'll be representatives from the Citizen Police Academy there, as well as representatives from the police department. And then October 5th, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., we'll have the National Night Out, which will be in front of our new municipal center. You approved the closure of that roadway, which is industrial between Reuben and Georgetown. And we'll have all sorts of displays and participation from a number of different organizations, and it'll take up most of that roadway as it relates to the displays. And I believe that this will personally address some of the issues that we had and encountered when we did it downtown. Everyone liked it downtown, except that commuters didn't like it when we did it downtown. And then October 6th, there'll be coffee with the police at McDonald's, which is right in front of the Jewel from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then on October 7th at 7 p.m., there'll be a movie in the park at Lions Park, and that'll be with a representative of the police department. We purchased some of those, I forget the Calumet, or their glow sticks.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll be out there and all sorts of good giveaways in regards to that at the movie in the park. And I believe there'll also be popcorn there as well. So again, a very ambitious schedule. And I'm certain that we'll all be tired after this week.
Exactly.
Any questions or comments in regards to the event? I think that they're trying to make, the Citizen Police Academy is trying to make up time from lost time last year.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting to honor our heroes, our local heroes here, so.
And we like the interaction with the public, and we do enjoy a high degree of support from, the public, both in McHenry County and the Village of Cary. So it will be a good time, and I know that we've been putting some effort into arranging this, and I think it'll be a lot of good events.
Is there any merit to looking into like these magnetic signs that you could put on the public works trucks or even on the back of a police truck or something, giving this some publicity so as the trucks and cars are out in the neighborhoods, people can see it a little bit more?
Yeah, well, I don't know how good that would work when they're driving, number one, but we have been publicizing it. We're putting it on the electronic board, any of the electronic signs around. I know it's on the Chamber of Commerce website. They've been very involved in this effort and publicizing this. I think there will be banners, by the way. So there'll be banners posted in certain areas as well. The signs on the truck, I don't know. I can't answer that other than we'll be publicizing it in a number of different manners so that we get the most exposure we can.
Yeah, you got a lot of nice things going on. The more people that, hear about it, the better, I suppose.
Absolutely.
But I see a lot of it on social media and things.
Oh, yeah.
There. Cary News Weeklies, we're publicizing it, so it's good. Looking forward to it. Action-packed week.
Yes, it will be.
Thank you for all you do, Chief. Thanks. So I'll, Director Simmons, you have anything for us? Director Morimoto?
Let's give this a try. Mayor, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, sir.
All right. Thank you. Just a couple updates from Public Works via my cell phone. Sorry about that. We have the annual fall brush collection, curbside brush collection, beginning in October. So we're going to start getting the word out to the public via Cary News Weekly and our website. As is typical, it'll be divided into two halves of town, north and south of the railroad tracks. The first half on north of the tracks, Monday, October 4th, will be the week that starts. And then the south half of town will start the week of Monday, October 11th. And as always, through the end of November with your guard waste, just a reminder that the unlimited brush pickup from Flood Brothers, as long as it's bundled and in a certain size parameter, is also still available. And then next, just as an advisory, we have some emergency well maintenance going on the north side of town at well 13. This will not cause any operational issues and service issues for the public. However, while we do this work, there will be some operational changes that may result in some different water pressures we experience on the north side of town. They'll still be well within the normal operating parameters, but it'll just be slightly different. So if anybody does notice that, it is expected and it will be temporary. I appreciate your patience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving along, any future agenda items and discussion by the village board? None said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Since we're all here, I could just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That was easy.
Thank you.
Too easy.
I've missed doing that because when you guys aren't here, we got to do a voice vote or a roll call.